This segment will show you how to assemble and attach the flow control to your Agri-Fab toe spreader and adjust it for proper operation. Start by inserting a hex bolt, part B, through the small hole in the flow control link, part N. Then thread a nylon washer, part E, onto the bolt, and insert the bolt through the middle hole in the flow control arm, part 2, as you see here. Secure the bolt in position using a nylock nut, part D, and tighten it carefully so that the flow control link can pivot with slight resistance without feeling loose. Your next step will be to insert the flow control arm along the long slot in the top of the flow control mount bracket, part 4, as shown. Next, insert a hex bolt, part B, through the large hole at the base of the mount bracket. Thread 2 nylon washers, part E, onto the bolt. Then insert the bolt through the hole in the end of the flow control arm. Secure the bolt using a nylock nut, part D, and tighten it carefully. The flow control arm should pivot with slight resistance but should not be loose. Then place the vinyl grip, part O, onto the flow control arm. Now you'll connect the flow control rod to the flow control link. Here's how. Begin by sliding a flat washer, part F, onto the end of the flow control rod, part 6, that has the small hole in it. Next, insert the tip of the rod through the slot in the side of the flow control mount bracket, as shown here, and insert it through the hole in the flow control link. Secure the rod in position by inserting a cotter pin, part G, through the hole in the rod. Using your pliers, wrap each leg of the cotter pin around the rod to secure the cotter pin in place. Now you'll attach the other end of the flow control rod to the slide gate bracket located near the bottom of the hopper. To do this, simply insert the short hook on the end of the control rod through the hole in the slide gate bracket like you see here. Your next step will be to attach the flow control mount bracket to the side of the hitch tube. With the mounting holes in the mount bracket aligned with the holes in the hitch tube, insert 2 hex bolts, part A, through a washer, part F, then through the 2 center holes in one side of the hitch tube, then through another washer, then one through each of the slots in the flow control mounting bracket, and then through another washer. Then secure each bolt with a nylock nut, part D. Do not tighten the nylock nuts at this time. Your next step will be to insert the 2 small tabs on the adjustable stop, part M, up through the long slot in the top of the flow control mount bracket, making sure that the adjustable stop is positioned at the on end of the slot. Thread a carriage bolt, part C, up through the hole in the adjustable stop and the slot in the mount bracket. Then place a nylon washer, part E, a flat washer, part F, and a nylon wing nut, part L, onto the bolt. Leave the wing nut loose for the moment. Now push the flow control arm forward until it is fully in the off position. Then slide the flow control mount bracket towards the hopper until the closure plate in the bottom of the hopper just closes. Snug the lock nuts holding the flow control mount bracket in position slightly, but do not fully tighten. Next, you're going to set the adjustable stop at the number 5 position and tighten the wing nut. Pull the flow control arm back until it is against the stop and verify that the closure plate in the bottom of the hopper has opened about halfway. If the closure plate does not open halfway, it may be closed too far when the flow control arm is in the off position. With the flow control arm still set at the number 5 setting, adjust the position of the flow control mount bracket on the hitch tube until the closure plate is about half open and completely closed when the control arm is fully at the off position. When the settings are correct, tighten all the nuts. Be sure to lubricate all moving parts before using the spreader. Lubricating instructions are in the next section.